thegearnetwork.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
What's up, rockers? This is the rockstar Robbie Vegas, bringing you another episode of the All Bets Are Off podcast. And as you can hear in the background, we are live here at ESW's Tough Luck. We are doing a memorial episode today for Anthony Gaines. I'm going to kind of kick things off here, and then we're going to have a bunch of the boys sit down, and they could leave a message, tell a story, leave some kind words, whatever the case may be. I rode with Anthony to Upstate Pro Wrestling few years back, and we shared a lot of talks, a lot of laughs, and he was one of the first people to congratulate me when I released my AEW photo shoot on my Facebook page. And I will say that he will be very, very, very missed. And I recall a time when he came up to me in the locker room after a match he had with Matic, which I'm not sure if Matic will tell this story when he comes on later or not, but opens his hand, shows me his tooth, tells me it got slapped out of his mouth, and then proceeds to tell me how good the match was. And that's just the kind of performer that Anthony was. We did have him on the All Bets Are Off podcast a few years back when he went viral, and you can go back and listen to that anytime as well. I'm not going to take up too much time with my own stories and my own thoughts, but I will have a lot of these guys coming in, and we're going to get that started right now.
Off, or you're kicking over to me?
I already did.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I'm on?
Yeah.
I'm live?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Invincible Vince Valor, speaking in the memory of our fallen friend and brother, none-of-a-kind Anthony Gaines. It's been a very painful couple weeks since we've lost Anthony Gaines. It was all very unexpected, and we miss him very much, and I'm glad and proud to be a part of this, to where we could share our memories, share our stories, share those moments we shared together. Anthony and I had a very strong passion together in the ring, but I feel like that made our friendship outside of the ring much stronger. Like, he was my one true friend that I was able to call a brother, somebody I was able to trust and confide in like no other. Like, he understood me more than a lot of my own family does, and I miss him very much. It's all been very painful to not really have my best friend, my brother, to talk to and walk through life with. And we're doing our best to put on a good show for tonight for Empire State Wrestling, to do things in honor of Anthony Gaines, do things that he would have wanted. And it's coming together very well. We all have our stories. We all have our memories. It's hard to really put into words or share all these stories and memories, because I could go on for days. I could go on for hours. It's a lot. But Anthony Gaines meant the world to me. It's brought a lot of us closer together. People that we were friends, but like now, since he's passed, like, we've become a much more tight-knit brotherhood now, because we need to be there for each other. And everybody else you'll hear on this podcast, they're going to share their stories, share their memories, and we're all here for one another to remember a good friend who was truly none of a kind.
Hey, what's up? This is Kevin Bennett. A lot of people in wrestling know me as the Remix of professional wrestling, Kevin Bennett. Anthony Gaines, none of a kind Anthony Gaines, was a really close friend to me. Outside of pro wrestling, he was a very, very close friend to me. And we have so many memories together. And, I'm going to miss him very, very dearly. It's crazy that I even have to say any of this stuff, because I never thought that something like this would happen. But rather than being sad and, upset, I'm just going to say a couple things, a couple memories, a couple of happy times, because that's, every time I think of him, those are really the only times that I ever remember. All the happy memories that I reminisce constantly, even when he's here, or when he was here, that's all we would really do, is just reminisce all the great times that we had together, inside and outside of wrestling. So, Anthony, I miss you, man. I just remember, in the backyard, I remember the first day meeting you. I met you alongside your cousin Jade, and I met you through some backyard wrestling videos on YouTube that your cousin was making. So initially I thought that I was only going to be meeting your cousin, but you ended up tagging along, and I can't remember if he told me that you were coming or not, but you were just kind of along for the ride, and that was one of the best things to ever happen to me as far as, meeting somebody like you and bringing somebody like you into my life. So from that day forward, you came over, you were an untrained wrestler. You had no idea what you were doing in the ring. You didn't know how to run the ropes. And I remember your little gimp arm when you'd hit the ropes and you kept your elbow inside. I don't know if anybody has a visual of that really, but if you can think about it, he had like this little chicken wing arm inside the rope. So we'd always make fun of him for that. But, as time progressed, he got really, really good. He was just incredible on the microphone. Just athleticism was just insane. He was just out of this world. But yeah, we had so many good times in the backyard. You cooking us food before all the matches in the backyard, bringing crock pots full of just random crazy gourmet meals, things like that. I have so many memories with you, the good and the bad. And, I love you, man. And I know that you can hear me right now. And there's just too many stories to tell. But I just want you to know I love you. And I will see you down the road. Love you, my man.
My name is Gavin Glass, and Anthony Gaines was my best friend this entire world. Losing him has definitely been the hardest thing I've ever had to go through my entire life. But we're here at ESW Tough Luck tonight, and when's this going to air?
This is going to air next weekend.
Well, spoiler alert, I'm coming back tonight for his tribute match, and it's going to be a night full of a lot of crying, a lot of celebrating, but most of all, just showing how much of an awesome wrestler and person Anthony Gaines was. So, thank you.
I am Randy Philbrick. I've known Anthony Nicometti since 2013. We actually trained together in the yard for the longest time. He was an incredible person. He always gave everybody credit where it was due, but he didn't give himself enough credit, and that's for sure. He always put everyone in front of him, which made him a really good person. And if he loved you to death, and he always wanted people to do good, and I miss him very much.
This is James Sega. Anthony Gaines and I were a little bit of the odd couple. I remember we first met in like a group chat talking about wrestling, and we just were so different that he was adamant that we were going to fist fight the first time we met. And when I walked into the house that we were meeting at, we ended up hugging, and from there on out, we were just really, really good friends. There's not many people I can say I've sat on the ground laughing about stupid things like a bottle of vodka hidden in a stuffed monkey, or wrestling as Moses. There were so many inside jokes that just me and him and maybe a few other people really understood and really shared, and I will always appreciate that. I think the most important thing to me was some of our last conversations were just saying how proud of me he was and how far I've come along. And I shared the same with him, and I wish I shared it more. And I just loved that I can look back and just know that not just my wrestling, but my family and the work that I've put in, I know that he was rooting for me every step of the way. And I hope he knows I love him. I hope you know I love you, Anthony. And that laughter is never going to stop, because it's going to sit in my heart every day, and I will never forget that cackle like a wild hyena. It'll never be more special. I hope you know.
My name is Darren Crow. Anthony Gaines was my trainer. He had given me a fresh new start in professional wrestling, a whole new world where I met many people in my life. He was my inspiration in terms of wrestling style, demeanor, professionalism. Everything that I do in the ring, everything I do out, is all for him.
Hello, this is Papa Russ from the Closed Fist here talking about memories of Anthony Gaines. None of a kind for a good reason. Let me just tell you, for when I first started doing interviews here at Empire State Wrestling, he was one of the first ones. And he really was just always accommodating, always really nice kid. Just... When you say none of a kind, the moniker, he truly lives up to the moniker, not only in the ring, but just himself. Because I also became a commentator and had the opportunity to commentate on more than a few of his matches, and he, my favorite line for him was he doesn't even know what he's going to do, and he just lived up to that moniker. I'll never forget a match he had against Gavin Glass up at Upstate Pro Wrestling. This is going back like 4 or 5 years ago, and him and they're best friends and everything like that. But they're catfighting like two kids in a schoolyard. Awesome stuff. Anthony wound up taking a bump where Gavin suplexed him off the apron onto the floor, and I'm like, okay, I would say he's dead, but he's none of a kind. He never dies. So. I'll never forget one night hanging out with some friends at a local strip club. I get a tap on the shoulder. Oh, it's Anthony Gaines and a few of the other guys. So I'm like, all right, automatically this night's gonna be something. Automatically. So I'm sitting there talking to my buddies, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go hang out with these guys for a little while. Go sit at their table. This cute girl walks up to us and sits down. Her name is Wednesday. I don't know where she is today. Who knows? and she goes, oh, what's your name? I decided I'm going to use an alias name for the night. We've all done it. Don't tell me you haven't. He goes, so I go, oh, my name is Dan. Immediately, Anthony Gaines turns to me. I'm surprised he didn't get whiplash on his neck. Turns to me and goes, I thought your name was Russ. I go, oh, thinking fast on my feet. Oh, that's my middle name. Looks at me and goes, you think you know somebody? Walks away. I'm like, all right, he's having a moment. He's all at a few, whatever. Then, so me and Wednesday are talking, whatever. I'm like, oh, good Lord. Anthony comes back, sits on my lap, and goes, am I doing this right? I'm like, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. So yeah, so that's how the name. A lot of these guys, some of these guys call me Dan. That's the night that Dan was born.
Excellent. I love that.
And the thing I'm going to miss the most is every time I would come here to ESW or even to a show that he was on. If we would see each other, he would always give me a hug after I had my heart attack. He gave me a hug and said, "Hey, how you doing? You better be following doctor's orders." All that kind of stuff. And that's really what I'm going to miss. So, rest in peace, Anthony Gaines. I love you, kid.
Hi, I'm Chris Gullo, and Anthony Gaines. Not only did we travel a lot together to shows and car rides, which were some very fun conversations and some memories, but just he was one of my closest friends, and just an incredible talent, but also just an incredible friend. Really funny, one of the funniest people I ever encountered, and it's not. I know not only am I going to miss him, but a lot of people in the wrestling community are going to miss Anthony Gaines, and I just want us to keep remembering him. I know I'm never going to forget him and keep his memory alive, and I want to thank Robbie for doing this podcast.
Oh boy. So some of you may know me as a Super Beast. Some of you may know me as William Gaines. God, this is hard. This is really hard here because Anthony meant a lot to me. when he first came in, my career in ring was winding down, and his was starting up, and he looked at me almost like a father figure of sorts. And I remember when he got his boots, and I helped him out with that and putting matches together. And then I remember in 2017, oh boy, he brought me into Erie, Pennsylvania at PWR as his father. He was told we need a manager, and I was the first person he thought of. He said he wouldn't do it with anybody else besides me, and I got brought down to his father and got to work with him for a whole year as his manager. Then he turned on me and we feuded, but he gave me the Gaines last name, and for that I am forever grateful. And he gave me his blessing last year to keep it on. And with Anthony, with you gone, I miss you, I love you, and I hope to make you proud using that name.
Hey, this is former SWB referee Andrew Mullen, and Anthony Gaines was a special guy. Did a lot of road trips with him, and he was always an entertaining guy to have in a car. And one of the craziest weeks of my life was when the Ace Romero match. I'll always remember him going viral, and then me getting texts and messages from people that I hadn't talked to in years asking if I was the referee for weeks on end. So he'll be missed, and yeah.
My name is Julia Lynn. I have known Anthony for about 5 years now. I met him at Revenge Pro Wrestling in Erie, Pennsylvania, and he was one of my best friends. Like, it is undescribable the amount of friendship that we had. He has helped me through my darkest of times. He brought me up in the deepest, darkest depressions, and he made me the person I am today. I'm forever grateful for him. He made me smile, he made me laugh, and he made me realize the value of the woman I am today. I'm forever grateful for him, and I'm forever grateful for everything that he has taught me, everything that he has shown me in the value of the person, not just within wrestling, but outside of wrestling. He is a light that will never be dimmed. He is, honest to God, the rainbow that everybody describes him as. He is the sweetest of persons, brutally honest, but honest to God, my favorite person in the whole wide world. And I will forever miss him, and I am forever grateful for the fact that he was a major part of my life. I love you, Anthony, and I will forever miss you.
None of a kind, Anthony Gaines. I don't miss you, brother. I love you. This is Matic. Man, training together at the Kayfabe Dojo. So much fun. That Buffalo car that always came up. One of my favorite moments. Probably not for him, but he tore his ACL at the Kayfabe Dojo. He did some pump kick in the corner, and his knee came out, and he's like yelling in pain, and he looks up at me while I'm in the center of the ring. He's like, "Help me!" And I look at him. I don't know what to do. Man, a lot of fun. Training partners, obviously. Opponents in the ring. Some of my favorite matches, hard-hitting matches. For a smaller guy, he definitely slaps pretty hard. Yeah, always a lot of fun with him, man. Definitely don't miss you. Love you, man.
Hey, this is TJ Epics, and Anthony Gaines meant the world to me. He was one of the first friends I had in this business when I broke in. One of the first people I looked up to. He's actually the person who invited me into the Buffalo wrestling scene and introduced me to everybody, and he took me under his wing immediately, and I love him. I miss him. Anthony, I really, really miss you, man. You did so much more for me than you realize. You were there in my moments of weakness where I needed help from somebody, and you're always there to listen. Even if we bickered at each other, we put it to the side when it came to important stuff, man. You meant a lot, not just to me, but this entire community. We love you. We miss you. I'm going to hold you in my heart forever, and I'm going to have that armband that says none of a kind on my arm the rest of my career. I promise you. Love you, man.
This is the Hope Dealer, Siren Rain, and I don't know where to start. Anthony Gaines was a special individual, somebody who would, give you the shirt off his back and then pick on you for needing a shirt. He was amazing, and he's helped me through a lot of really, really dark times, and something I wish I got to tell him when he was here is one reason I'm still here is because of him, and I'm going to miss him very, very much.
What's up? This is Count C and Anthony. I love you, brother. I'm going to miss you. And I just want to say that every time I ever think about Anthony Gaines, the first thing I think of is his smile and his laugh and the jokes he'd tell and the balls that he would bust. He's a great man. I wish I knew him better, but I'm blessed to have known him and called him a friend, and I will never forget him. My heart's with his family. Thank you.
Thank you all once again for listening to this very special podcast. There are a lot of people who would have liked to have been involved in this and left a memory or a kind word or anything at all. Unfortunately, it was a very busy, hectic day, so we did not get to everybody, but I hope that all of you who did not get to participate do enjoy this and have something fondly to look back on. And again, we thank all of you fans for listening, probably hearing some things and some stories for the first time. So thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it very, very much.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.